To me, one of the big problems in the facility services or the indirect spend arena is too much of an over-reliance on RFPs. So look, I think it's safe to say that most large organizations are involved in either putting out or responding to a ton of RFPs. It's just the cost of doing business. And look, sometimes an RFP is indispensable. Sometimes it's a necessary evil, and sometimes it's a box you're going to need to check to price test your incumbent or your preferred service provider every 2 to 3 years. I mean, look, RFPs they often result in pricing becoming the single most important factor when evaluating responses. There's what I like to call the apples to apples fallacy. So I mean, many RFPs are set up to establish an apples to apples comparison between providers to commoditize everything. But when at the end of the day, these responses are anything but apples to apples. So I mean, it could just be that they've got different contract terms that they're willing to agree to, or the makeup of their organizations are just radically different. There's often misaligned incentives. So often the incumbent service provider is going to have either the burden or the advantage of knowing what it takes to actually deliver the work. There can be scope interpretation issues. So how often has one provider either vastly over or underbid the RFP just because in all likelihood they didn't understand exactly what it was that you're looking for. And most significantly, at least from my perspective, is that RFPs are extraordinarily prescriptive. They tell you what to do, and they stifle innovation. So the request for solution it's a formal engagement with a service provider base to solicit solutions that deliver desired strategic outcomes. It changes the paradigm from telling the service provider what to do to telling them what you want and asking them for innovative ideas on how to achieve your desired outcomes. And look, this can be done in place of or in advance of an RFP. So you can still go down that path to try to get something close to apples, which we'll see. But you just might need to give an extra 3 to 6 months of planning in advance to try to deliver that.